Hello, this is Sal. In today's video, we will be talking about NAT, Network Address Translation, and PAT, Port Address Translation, or NAT overloading. Here I will configure this host here with the IP address of 192.168.1.2 to static NAT, and I'll use one of the public IP addresses here on this range, 10.1.1.5 to 10.1.1.10. I'll use maybe 10.1.1.3 as the public IP address for this host, and then I'll configure this network of 192.168.0 as a dynamic NAT, and then this network here as PAT. So now if I try to ping from this PC to the server of 8.8.8.8, the DNS server, and it will time out that we have no connection. I'll just try to explain or show you this example in a very easy way so you can distinguish and just the rules, just to keep it simple in order to understand, even if you have a more complicated network to configure. So now NAT in which private IP address is mapped to a public IP address, where the public address is always the same IP address. Static NAT creates a fixed translation of private addresses to public addresses. The main difference between dynamic NAT and static NAT is that the static NAT allows a remote host to initiate a connection to a translated host if an access list exists that allows it, while dynamic NAT does not. Dynamic network address translation, or dynamic NAT, is a technique in which multiple public internet protocols IP addresses are mapped and used with an internal private IP address. Now, as I said, we want to configure a static NAT to the PC here. So we'll go on router 1. First, enable, configure terminal, IP NAT, first interface serial 000, which is this interface here. This is the IP NAT outside, and interface gig 00, this is IP NAT inside. So let's see what we did so far. Show run 5 include NAT. So we just configured the IP NAT inside and the IP NAT outside. This is our outside and this is the inside. Configure terminal. Now IP NAT inside, we want to NAT an IP address inside. The source, what source is a static IP address, and the IP address that inside local IP address, which is this IP address of 192.168.1.2, and here inside the global IP address. This is inside the global, this is inside local. So I'll choose the IP address of 10.1.1.3. And that's it. Exit from here. So let's see if we can ping now from this PC to the server, and sure we can. So we gave a privilege, let me say, the network for this host here to access the internet, but we did not configure it for this guy here. So let's see if this host can ping the same server, 8.8.8.8, and sure it can. Now, we will configure dynamic NAT on the router to allow the network, this network of 192.168.2.0 to access the internet. Now, let me see here from this PC 192.168.2.2 if this PC can ping its own default gateway. Ping 192.168.2.1. Sure it can. But can it ping the DNS server No, it can't. Now let's configure the dynamic NAT on the router. Here, configure terminal, interface S000. This is the NAT outside, and IP gigabit 01 for this network, this interface, gigabit 01. This is the IP NAT inside. Exit here. Now, I'll configure an access list. I'll give it number 1 to permit this access list, to permit this anybody within this network, to give them the access. So access list 1 permit. Here the address to match 192.168.2.0, and with the wildcard or the inverse subnet mask of 0.0.0.255. This is our access list. Now let's create the pool. IP NAT. Here we have inside, outside, or the pool. We will choose the pool and we will call it NAT. And the pool of addresses from 10.1.1.5 to 10.1.1.10. These are the public IP addresses. And here the start IP address of 10.1.1.5, and here end with 10.1.1.10. And we need to type net mask and network mask of 255.255.255.0, and that's it. Now let's configure the NATing. IP NAT. Here inside source, list, the list we created, list 1, and the pool we want to NAT the addresses in the list to the pool of IP addresses that we created with this public IP addresses, and the name of it was NAT, and that's it. So now let's see if we have access. So from here, PC, let's ping the ping 8.8.8.10. Yes, we can. Let's see from this PC if we can use the web browser for the DNS server at 8.8.8.8. Yes, we can. So now let's go back to the router and type this show command, show IP NAT translation, and it's showing us here that the inside the global, the IP address here, when we send the ping from this PC here, the pool of addresses, the public pool addresses from 10.1.1.5 to 10.1.1.10, and the inside local was this IP address here, and the outside local or outside global was 8.8.8.10. And here, when we went with the web browser to the inside global, it was one of the IP addresses picked for this PC here, 192.168.2.2, and it went to the DNS server. So it's something really, just if you follow the rules, it is really very simple to do. Now, on let's configure PAT. Here we'll have these two PCs here, this PC and this PC. We want, or any PC will be within this network of 192.168.1.0 to use PAT. Here on the router, configure terminal, interface serial 000, IP NAT outside. We don't have to do this, but you know, just because we are going over a different kind of NAT. And interface gig 00, this is IP NAT inside. So now the command will go like this: IP NAT inside source list, source list 1. I create it in a second. Interface, the interface to use to this interface of serial 000. Type serial 000. And not to forget one important, which is overload. Now, if we did not specify the word overload at the end of the command, which means nobody can use this public IP address of the PCs in this network. If this PC is using it, this guy, he cannot use it, because it will be configured just like when we type overload. Now they can, this IP address can recognize these PC in this network are going through the ports. That's why it's called PAT. So not to forget the word overload at the end of the command. Now we want to create the access list. Access list 1. We want to permit the address to match of 192.168.1.0 with the inverse subnet mask of 000.255. Now let's see if this guy here can access the web server. Ping 8.8.8.9, the other server. Yes, it can. And this is simply, you know, how to configure the static NAT, dynamic NAT, and PAT. I hope you learned a tip or two from this video. Please, if you like it, share the video and give me the thumb up. And I'll see you soon in my next video, and wish you all a nice day. Thank you.